everyone, it's Ashley and today I am bringing you my June/July graphic novel haul. This is basically like the last week of June/July and I actually obtained so many graphic novels. It's crazy. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, how in the world did I buy that many graphic novels in a month and a half? But I did. So here is my June/July graphic novel haul. This is in no particular order because I have no idea the order in which I bought these, so it's just all the graphics I got in the last month and a half. The first one I'm going to show you is Shudder Volume 1 Wanderlust. This is by Joe Keating and Lila DeLuca. I don't really know what this is about. I know it's about a female adventurer and her adventures in the world. I don't know if it includes space. I have no idea. I don't know if you guys can see, but that cat right there looks very like 90s TV cartoony, and that excites me a lot. Okay, so next I have Young Avengers Style Over Substance, which is Volume 1. This is by the same crew that does Wicked and the Divine. If you haven't read Wicked and the Divine, please, please, please do. But if you've read it, then you know how amazing it is, so I'm so excited to get to this. I'm really excited about reading it. I know that it has LGBTQ content, and it is about like a teenage group of Avengers. It's like new Avengers. It's exciting. Next, I have Miss Marvel Generation Y, which is Volume 2. If you haven't started reading the new Miss Marvel, you really, really have to. She is amazing. The crew that is writing and drawing her is just great. However, I will say that this one is actually drawn by multiple different artists throughout this volume. Sometimes I like that and sometimes I don't, so I'm really hoping that this is one of the times that I like it, because if it's done well, it can be done really well, and if it's done poorly, it is done quite poorly. Next, we have Thunder Agents, written by Nick Spencer and drawn by Kafu Bit. This is about a group of superheroes that is chosen by the government and then like scientifically altered to become superheroes, and then they go out to save people, but the catch is that because they're genetically altered in order to have the superpowers to save people, those genetic alterations, when they're used, so when the superpowers are used, they deteriorate the person who has them. So basically, you become a superhero to save the world, but you kill yourself in the process. So I'm just really, really excited to get to this. Also, it's written by Nick Spencer, who I love. He wrote Morning Glories. Then I have Low Volume 1, which is called The Delirium of Hope, and it is by Remender and Torcini. Remender is the writer of Deadly Class. If you haven't tried Deadly Class, I highly recommend it. It's really, really good. So I'm really excited to get into this one. It is about a civilization that is living underwater because we have destroyed the earth and you can no longer live on the ground. It looks really interesting. I'm excited to get to it. Then we have Ant-Man Second Chance Man, which is the first volume in the new Marvel Now Ant-Man. This is Scott Lang's story. If you've seen the movie, then you know kind of the general gist of that, but Scott Lang is like a version of Ant-Man. There are multiple Ant-Mans. There's Hank Pym and there's multiple different Ant-Mans, but Scott Lang is one of them. This is so good so far. I'm only about halfway through, but Nick Spencer writes it. Like I just said, I love Nick Spencer. He writes Morning Glories. He is great. He's super saucy with his writing, like quirky, and I really, really like that. Then I have Amulet Volume 1. This is by Kazu Kibushi. I always say that name wrong. I don't know if that's right. I hope that that is right. This is about a young girl who just recently lost her father, and she just moved into a new house with her family, and there is a secret passageway in that house that leads to another place. Very Narnia-esque. I'm really excited about it, and I've flipped through in the artwork and everything looks really, really good, and I've actually read one other thing by this author and really, really liked it, so I'm excited to get into this. Next, we have Oddly Normal Volume 1. This is by Otis Frampton. He does the writing and the illustration. I really, really like when I find like a writer who also does their own illustrations, a lot like Brian Lee O'Malley. But this is about a girl whose mother is a witch from a faraway land and her father is from Earth and he's a human. So she has pointed ears and green hair, but she's half human, half witch, and it just looks so cute. This is a middle grade graphic by Image Comics, and I'm just really, really excited to get into it. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3 Spider-Verse. Okay, this was so good. I've already read it. I obviously read it like right when it came out. I can't really explain this to you without ruining like volume 1 and 2 of the new Amazing Spider-Man, But essentially, like, every single spider person thing, anything spider that has been bitten by a spider and gotten superpowers is in this comic, and it's just like, it is like a Spider-Man fan's dream. It was so good. I really, really liked it. And yes, just, what can I tell you? There are beings who want to kill all the spider people. This is that story. That's not really spoiling anything about 1 and 2. Yes, I think that's a safe description. I can't really describe more, but I highly recommend. Next, we have Spider-Woman Volume 1 of the new Marvel Now Spider-Verse. For those of you who watched my unboxing video, which I will leave linked down below, one of my best friends got this for me for my birthday, and it is Spider-Woman's like version of Spider-Verse, which I loved so much, as you guys just heard. So yes, just yes, I'm excited for this. Then next we have Philip Pullman's The Golden Compass in graphic novel format. This is volume 1. This was sent to me by Penguin Random House Canada for review. I'm excited to get to it because I've actually never read The Golden Compass. I know it's a classic for kids, but I never read it, so I'm actually really, really excited to get to this graphic. It looks really interesting in the inside. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's written kind of like in like old classic-y comic format, like little squares versus... I'm excited. Who draws this? Stéphane Melchior-Durand and Clément Oubrier. I probably destroyed both those names, but that is who adapted and illustrated this graphic. Next, we have We 3 by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. This is a Vertigo comic. I don't really know what this is about. I think it takes place in space, but I do know that it has like a dog in a robot suit, cat in a robot suit, and a bunny in a robot suit, and that's pretty much all I need to know that I probably really want to read this. Next, we have Suburban Glamour. This is by Jamie McKelvey, who is the artist of Wicked and the Divine and the new Young Avengers. I had never heard of this before, but I actually found it in the used section of my comic book shop, and it was like $6, and I was like, yes please. So I have no idea what this is about, except for that I know I really, really like this artist, so I'm excited to dive into this and see what it's like. Next, we have Odyssey Volume 1, Off to Far Ignitia by Matt Fraction and Christian Ward. Matt Fraction is of Sex Criminals fame. If you haven't read Sex Criminals, please do so. It's so good. And Christian Ward is actually the author or the illustrator of a different comic that I haven't shown you guys yet that I loved this month. This is a retelling of the Odyssey where Hercules is a girl and she doesn't allow men to exist, so she doesn't allow people to reproduce ever. And it's just, it's crazy but awesome at the same time. Very hard to understand at first, but very well illustrated. I really, really liked the artwork. Next, we have Rat Queens Volume 2, The Far-Reaching Tentacles of Nargoth. If you haven't read Rat Queens, it is basically a band of kick-butt female characters. It is like a D&D in graphic novel format with like 5 totally kick-butt females. That's like the best way for me to describe it to you. It's so awesome. It just... witches and dwarfs and Viking-like warriors and just so good. And last but not least, we have Infinite Vacation by Nick Spencer and Christian Ward. I bought this because Nick Spencer wrote it, and as you guys know, I love Nick Spencer, and it was a one-off, so this is it. This is the collection of the whole series, and Christian Ward's illustrations are so beautiful. Like, I just really like them. I want to find a good page to show you without spoiling anything, but it's very like bright and colorful. I just really, really liked it. And the premise of this also completely intrigued me. I actually had to order this in, so I wanted to make sure I really, really wanted it before ordering it, but it is about a futuristic world where you can actually buy into alternate universes of yourself. Okay, so there's a theory that every time you make a decision, there's a different you on a different universal plane that didn't make that decision. So there's basically an infinite number of yous because of all the decisions that you make on a daily basis. So this comic is about what happens when it gets so far in the future that there's a company that gives you the ability to actually buy into someone else. So you can like buy into a different you and go into that other world. It's like, anyways, so there's an infinite number of yous and an infinite number of vacations that you can take. But this comic is about a main character who loves to do that, like loves to go on infinite vacations. But all of a sudden, hymns on other realms or other universes are dying, being murdered, and he has to figure out why and how and what is going on, and it's so good. I loved it so much. It was a little bit more gruesome than I was expecting, but still so good. Okay, so those are all of the graphic novels that I obtained in June and July, which is crazy. I'm going to try to limit my graphic novel buying in August because it's kind of gotten out of hand. If you have read or want to read any of these, comment down below and let me know. And if you have any recommendations for me, always let me know. And otherwise, I will see you guys soon with another video. Happy reading. Bye!